day I'm inundated with emails, calls, SMSs to say, when are we going to get our kids being placed? And when you do follow up with the district, they will always say, we've got a problem of load shedding yesterday. We could not complete the placement. And again, when you go to schools, because the Gauteng department deployed new technology, like your smart boards, your tablet, it's quite difficult to teach using those gadgets. And this is a serious problem. We need serious intervention and we can't postpone it. Also, where there's feeding scheme, also people who are supposed to prepare meals for our kids, they can't do so because there's no electricity. So that's why we're saying this load shedding is a mess and it has to stop. It has to stop now.
When you look at schools' performance in Gauteng, we had a marginal increase of about 1.2, 1.3%. Will this ultimately affect the results percentage of the performance that you've been seeing of learners in Gauteng when it comes to matric results?
No, indeed. I mean, we want to see all our kids to succeed. So meaning that we're not expecting anyone to drop out, dropping out even in the poor performance. But when we've got this continuous load shedding, it has a huge impact. It will also have an impact with regard to our learners in terms of them proceeding to the next grade, because they will not cover the entire syllabus. So we are urging the Department of Education to start looking at things differently. Can we have generators in all our schools? Can we make sure that when we go to the next budget cycle, we make sure that at least there are lights in our schools so that learning and teaching is not going to be disrupted? And also invest on the gas stove so that when there's load shedding, at least learners are not going to starve because of load shedding. So those are some of the ways which we need to see department employing going forward, so that we make sure that learning and teaching is not disrupted, or if it's disrupted, is at a minimal level, so that learning and teaching is continuing.
What does the MEC of Education, Matume Chulwane, what does he say is the immediate intervention to make sure that schools are cushioned from this load shedding in the province?
No, with the current MEC, he's relying on the ANC, and ANC, as we can see, is failing. There's no initiative coming from the school side. The Premier made proposition that he will engage with ESCOM, but it's not enough. We want to see actions. What are we doing now? Because school's already open. We can't talk about tomorrow. We want to talk about today. What are we doing today so that learning and teaching is taking place? Because when you go to this school, you can see it's chaos. Because they can't do anything because of load shedding. And if maybe the schedule is known, that is between 2 or 3, at least they will have a proper planning. But because of the random changes, they can't do anything, and their hands are tied. That's why we're saying, can we, as the leadership of the province, provide necessary resources to these schools so that learning and teaching is not being disrupted going forward?
On another issue, you chair the DA's governance portfolio in the province overseeing municipalities. There's a motion of no confidence against Mayor Palati on Thursday. Motion of no confidence against the Chief Whip in Ekurhuleni and the Speaker in Ekurhuleni. The DA Federal Chairperson Helen Zilla called a private meeting later today with all speakers, with all Chief Whips. Are you confident you will still be running these 2 metros come Thursday?
Yeah, we're confident that the relationship which we have with our coalition partners is still intact, and we believe that they will still continue to support us. These frivolous motions are designed just to distract us from the bigger picture of delivering quality services to our people. But we're always telling our voters they must be aware we are still committed to what we said we will do, but because we don't have a full mandate, there's nothing we can do beyond talking to our coalition partners and get their support. But if it happens, it happens. But our focus is give us a mandate to continue to serve our people. And 2024 is a good lesson to South Africans to say, when you vote, make sure that you give us a full mandate and vote for the DA in 2024.
Are you going to be the next Premier? So you're available to be the Premier of the province?
The process is not open as yet, but let's allow the space to go on and we'll advise in due course.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbalenhle, who says he may be the next Premier of the province.
I will advise in due course if I'm standing, but not now. I'm still running the campaign on the ground to win in 2024.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbalenhle. My colleague Natasha is on the other side, and there seems to be commotion once again.
Well, thank you so much, Samgate, and to our SABC viewers, there was almost an altercation here where some DA members, after the program of the DA and John Steenhuisen, attempted to cross Pitchett Street, which is going down, which is actually just past Luthuli House, and some ANC Youth League members had seen them. They then ran after them, but of course they were stopped there. They then further went up Pitchett Street, going close to Bears Note, and of course members of the NYTT had then to call for calm and order amongst these ANC Youth League members. I managed to catch a video, and they said that, listen, they won't be violent, but members of the DA should not provoke them by walking down Pitchett Street, as they had made no attempts to actually go to the Bears Notea Park, where members of the DA were actually addressed by the party leader, John Steenhuisen. Just talking earlier on to the spokesperson of the ANC, Mr. Pulemabe, he had said that it was an insult for the opposition party like the DA trying to come here to Luthuli House and delivering a memorandum to them. They had said that they've never seen this in the history of democratic South Africa, although it did happen in 2014, where the likes of Helen Zille had led that DA jobs march here to Luthuli House, but subsequently the march had diverted yet again to Bears Notea, which is just up the road from this Luthuli House, Pitchett Street. And of course, we are seeking to interview and to talk to the likes of Nongceba Mhlawuli, just to ask her what had actually happened. Have they really called for calm and order? And what actually happens when DA members try to go to their buses and their destinations? Will their safety be guaranteed? Nongceba, thank you so much for joining us. We saw what happened earlier on. I witnessed it. There were some members of the DA who had attempted to cross over down to Pitchett Street, and unfortunately some members of the ANC Youth League decided to chase them.
Look, what we've always said since we arrived here this morning is that our members must exercise maximum discipline. We saw the attempt of some who would have wanted to chase them, and that was averted, as you would have seen. There has been no confrontation. We've been able to avert any form of confrontation between the ANC Youth League members who are here and any other people who are opposed to our demonstration here today. As you've seen, we've confined ourselves to this corner and that corner over there. That's what we've been doing, and we've been saying that we, as the Youth League, will remain disciplined. Comrades are literally just singing and chanting, and in fact we'll be dispersing quite soon because we also have to then go to the symposium, which is at 3 o'clock.
Nongceba, I hear that you're saying that you're going to be dispersing. It seems that some DA members are scared to even cross here. What happens then when some rogue elements actually creep into this march, this peaceful march like you indicated, and then decide to take matters into their own hands? Will there be consequence management, and how will you actually contain that situation?
No, absolutely. I mean, we have marshals here. We've been stating we have marshals here at our march. We have ANC security that you would have seen that have been here since this morning. We have Metro Police who are also here to contain the situation, which is why our march has actually been quite peaceful. And we are quite clear that through the ANC security that is here, the marshals that are here, the Metro Police that are here, will be able to contain the situation. In fact, as you can hear right now, we're trying to gather everyone just to address them, to say, comrades, let's remain calm, let's remain, disciplined. Let's not get into any physical confrontation. That's not our stance as the Youth League. Our stance is a demonstration in front of our party headquarters, and that's where it starts and stops.
Before we link to Mbalenhle, I just want to know, earlier on you spoke to us about the planned march to ESCOM. When is that happening?
We are still planning for that, because we don't just want a march that will say, we are here at ESCOM, stop electricity. We don't think that is our role as the Youth League of the governing party. Our role as the Youth League of the governing party is to say these are the solutions that we as the Youth League of the governing party are putting forward to deal with all of the challenges insofar as the state of the grid is concerned, insofar as the state of governance is concerned, insofar as the financial position that Eskom finds itself is concerned, insofar as how do we ensure that we have a just energy transition as well. So we are currently busy and engaging different experts, young people. In fact, in about 2 weeks or so, we are having a talk with some young people who are within the field for us to bring together different ideas, various stakeholders, various experts to ensure that we have that dossier that we will then be able to say this is our proposed solutions to fixing the energy crisis. But beyond that, there's also the issue of NERSA, Natasha, where we've said that we understand that NERSA is an independent regulator, but beyond the fact that it's an independent regulator, we find it unfortunate that we cannot, intervene in whatever decisions that NERSA takes. And we are calling for the amendment of the Act, so that beyond the decisions that NERSA takes, there should be able to be some level, of intervention based on the mood of the country. And we believe that the current decision was deaf to the mood of the country, which is why we also support the president of the country and of the ANC when he says Eskom must not implement the 18% hike at this moment.
Thank you so much. I was ANC NEC member and of course the convener of the ANC NYTT. With that, Nzinga, let's just wrap to my colleague Mbalenhle Mthethwa, who is around the vicinity. Mbali.
Well, we're just moments away from what was clashes between the ANC Youth League members and the police. The police doing what seems to have been a great job with regards to averting what could have turned into clashes between the DA that was marching here to Luthuli House, as well as the ANC Youth League members who have come here to protect their headquarters. Now, what we're actually hearing here is what is a report back, or one of the Youth League members or leaders reporting back and speaking to the people who have come here. And what we've heard them say is that the Luthuli House is not Eskom's headquarters, nor is it a place where memorandum of demands regarding load shedding as well as the supply of electricity must be brought to. It seems as though the ANC Youth League members here are unhappy with the stance that the DA has taken to bring their memorandum or their grievances and bring their march to Luthuli House. But we know that the police did try to avert any clashes between the two sides and ensure that the march and the demonstration outside Luthuli House remains peaceful, a peaceful one. Now, you would have seen a bit earlier on, there are barricades almost everywhere surrounding the block, not far from Luthuli House, as well as Burgers Park. But that wasn't enough to stop the people who were here from moving all the way around to try and access or force their way into one of the barricades. That's when we saw the police also intervening and making sure that they do not break through that barricade, and they then pushed the crowd that was trying to force its way into the park back towards Luthuli House, and you saw them all coming back. And this is the finishing spot, and this is the final spot where they all stand here and wait to be addressed, or are being addressed, and the address is still ongoing. It's unclear who is in fact addressing them at the moment, but I need to ask why it is they chose to go to the other side. I'm going to ask some of the people here with me. Sanbonani, why did you go to the other side? You guys were here all morning, I saw you. What happened? What motivated the move to the other side?
We're actually being provoked by the DA setting their foot and their boundaries next to and also near and around the Revolutionary House. We as young people, we are standing here to defend the Revolutionary House, saying that there's no other party that can come and confront us, no maranjan. If they are fighting against the ESCOM saga, or if ESCOM is in tatters, they must go and march to ESCOM and never to us.
So this is one of the people who was here who is saying that the protest or the march is really just a provocation, reiterating what was said on the podium, saying that this is a revolutionary house and that they will protect it by all means necessary. They were also talking about the fact that they feel that the Democratic Alliance has failed in some of the areas where they govern and therefore should not then come forward or come here with their memorandum of demands. I'm going to try to speak to someone else. Guys, why did you guys go to the other side? Why did you decide to go to the other side to meet, even though the police were there preventing you from going there?
We just wanted to have 30 seconds conversations with John Steenhuisen.
And say what?
Teach him a lesson that this is a revolutionary house. He must never ever try to come and put his grievances here. He must go to ESCOM, not here.
It seems as though the sentiment over here are that this is not a place to hand over any memorandum of demands pertaining to issues of electricity and as well load shedding. Very unhappy with the march itself, but we understand that the police are on top of their game. We understand that even as the DA marchers do head back and go back to Mary Fitzgerald Square, they are going to be taking a completely different route, which really moves them as far away as possible from here. And as I stand here, I'm seeing an even higher police contingency from the one that we had this morning, more cars blockading the roads. This is the situation here outside Luthuli House, just to ensure that everything here happens peacefully. It's back to you in studio.